bye-bye to bank. Hey, such a busy day. But let anything go in this way. Oops, wait. Friday should look great on myself with the wallet sash on. Go to bank with no. You can solve it with wallet sash.
Sing it, Alex. Celsius app. Say bye-bye
here we
to
go.
bank.
That's right. So we're live again, another week, another episode of the Celsius AMA with the machine. Again, if you want one of these t-shirts, what do they have to do to get one of these?
Yeah, on Twitter, tell your Celsius story and hashtag Celsius success stories, and we're picking winners this weekend. Only 7 shirts, only 7.
That's right. You'll be able to be one of the lucky ones saying, "Hey, I'm also a machine." But definitely amazing week. Again, record deposits, record users, and we'll go through all the details. But definitely amazing results here. Let's take a look at some of the new stuff that we've added. So I'll do another screen share. So if you go to our website, we've added a few new things. For example, under About, you have basically 2 new categories, Trust Celsius and Security Insights. So you can get some details about what's happening on the security front. And if you've seen, you probably got an email, we've updated the rewards program. So if you look at the detail here, you see that we actually took from the rich and we've given to the poor, right? The platinum levels used to earn 35%, we lowered it to 30%, and we took the bronze, which used to not earn anything basically in sell, and we've given about 3,000 first-time Celsians, you might be one of them, 5% in sell tokens. So on next week, basically, will be the first week you'll be earning. And not the coming Monday, but the Monday after that, you will actually get sell token for the first time on whatever balance you have with Celsius. So I think that's amazing news for some of the people who don't have as much as me or some of the other large Celsius holders. So let's take a look at why trust Celsius. So we've added that because, again, this new beautiful site that we created did not have some of the older materials, and people kept telling us, but why should I trust you guys? So some of the videos, you might have seen some of these before, kind of explaining our mission, but the most important things are these licenses and regulations. It shows you where we are regulated, the links straight to the filings, and I can promise you that by next year there's going to be another 1 or 2 lines here worth of new licenses and new things that we've achieved.
So like this is a huge part of our community is always concerned about, are you regulated? Do you have licenses? Is this going to get shut down, last minute? But on this page, we have all of the official documents.
Yeah, and the reason this is important is because when you read about the SEC suing this or that company, or you read about how they shut down certain companies, everybody says, well, Celsius is next. Well, we did something that almost no one else did. You see, in February of 2018, we basically filed with the SEC. We filed what's called a Reg D right here. This is the filing. Okay, April of 2018. Sorry about that. That's us incorporating. So we filed with the SEC a registration that said, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And we're going to check that every person who interacts with us is KYC ML, is accredited, and so on and so on. And because we did that, we didn't get into the trouble that some of the other major guys like EOS and Telegram and you saw Kik in Canada recently settled, or even Abra and others, right? They all got in trouble with the SEC or with CFTC. And some other people just got in trouble with FinCEN, right? Because they did not have an AML program, or they did not have some of the stuff that's required. So like Zach was saying, these are critical pieces to our success. Also, a great history here of kind of milestones for the company that you can go through and see. We'll also be adding some things that we do in the future. And again, if you look at the security inside, we'll be adding additional content here. This is just launched. But also here is the AMA. For the people who missed it, there's a whole 1 hour long AMA all about security. And we'll be adding our audits, external audits, and things like that. So all these things are things I think are very important for, to achieve. So continuing on, so I wanted also to talk to you guys about let's see here. So definitely a lot of news recently about Celsius, right? We sometimes we complain about this or that publication not covering us, and it's true. I mean, like as mentioned before, CoinDesk, the Block, and all these guys just completely ignoring Celsius, like the amazing news that we've had. So what I wanted to do today is just show you, or at least highlight the people that are talking about us and the great job that they're doing. So we'll go through some of these right now, just so you can see. But just before I go into that, I just want to talk about Tether. Again, looking at their website. So the website is tether.to. That's the official website of Tether. And if you look at CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko or any of these things, and you look at the volume that Tether does, almost every day, not just that Tether does more volume than Ethereum, it does actually more volume than Bitcoin, right? And in many days, Tether will do more volume than Ether and Bitcoin put together. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But on their website, you actually have transparency. And if you click on that, you'll be able to see basically how much Tether is issued and who actually holds it. A lot of people kind of say bad things about Tether, and Tether is this and Tether is that. So they basically stated several times that they have the reserve for the almost 16 billion in issued Tether. And you can see how much is running on Ethereum, right? So like 10 billion of that is running on Ethereum, about 4.3 billion is running on the Tron network, some on EOS, some on Liquid, and so on, so on, so on. So it's just a resource that I think is very important. Some of the people who are kind of transacting with Tether every day and didn't do their homework, this is one place where they can do it. So we've announced Bitfinex, and we went live with them just 2 days ago. We had a flood of new users and a flood of new deposits. I think yesterday was a record, all-time record for net deposits for the day. And a lot of it we can attribute to both Line, which has, again, 2 exchanges with us, Bitfront and BitMax, as well as Bitfinex, which went live just recently. And again, this is an article for Decrypt, who's basically describing the details. And I think they wrote that you can only deposit Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, but actually you can deposit your XAUT, Tether Gold. You can deposit, I think, 4 or 5 other coins as well. So if you're a Bitfinex customer and you prefer to earn your yield through there, there's no difference. The rates are the same, and you can withdraw at any time and go straight into your Bitfinex account, and you can buy or sell or whatever you want to do. So if it's easier for you to buy coins on Bitfinex, that's one way to do it, right? Again, several other public.
2 things.
Yep.
2 things I was going to add to that. Where half the assets they support went live, and then another 5 or 6 assets are going to go live in 2 weeks. So even more is coming. And right now, Alex, we have triple the audience that we had last week. And I think it's to do with all of these announcements around Bitfinex. So we are just killing it right now.
That's great. I really appreciate you guys joining, and thanks for all the support, and both for spending your time with us on Fridays, And so again, Line, we still think that, again, that's the biggest news in crypto. And unfortunately, again, you're not going to find these news almost anywhere. Just very few people mentioned it. But Line has 10 times more customers than all of crypto put together, right? Just Line. Actually 15 times more. So these are the things that when people look at crypto 10 or 15 years from now, they'll be saying, wow, these are the watershed events. When people started, basically when Line, for example, launched crypto, when Venmo, others added the stuff, and that's what we really need to focus on. So another thing we published that again didn't get any coverage is that we now supports 25 different cryptos are supported as loans. For example, just this week, Zcash, now you can borrow against your Zcash at 1%, right? Nowhere in the world you can do that. There's only one place. But actually all 35 coins that are supported by us are, you can borrow at 1%, pay 1% per year. That's something like, I don't know, $7 for, or whatever, $3 for $1,000. It's like crazy stuff. So next week, we're adding 4 new coins. So we're adding Uni for the favorites. And now you can borrow against Uni. I think that's the only place in the world where you can borrow against Uni, UMA, Mana, MANA, and SGR. So those are the 4 going live next week. And we'll be adding another 4, 6 the week after. So a lot of new activity, a lot of new stuff. It's funny, like I remember when I launched Arbinet, of my VoIP company, and it was doing exceptionally well. It was a unicorn here in New York, and people started calling me Moneybags. So it's funny because now all the images are showing Moneybags as well with the Celsius logo on them, as you can see here. So when you're earning 15.89% on your stable coins, more than anywhere else, yes, you will also have Moneybags. So moving on. Again, earning 6.2% on your first 5 Bitcoin. No one pays you that. Yeah, so again, great. Thanks to Crypto Briefing for covering that and letting their readers know what's actually happening compared to, again, other publications who intentionally hiding the news from their readers. I mean, it's just unbelievable, right? You would think that we live in a free country. It kind of reminds me, I grew up in Russia where it was a communism, and the news only came from one source. So it's almost like I feel in crypto, that's where we live, right? So again, Bitcoin Moneybags here, Celsius Cell token outperforming Bitcoin by over 1,000%, right? So this is again coming to you from BTC Manager. And let's look at some of these videos. If you missed this video, it's on our YouTube channel.
We've done the speculative thing where everybody kind of goes, oh, wow, that could be really interesting. And now we're doing the DeFi thing, which...
So, Tim is, many of you may not know, but Tim Draper is an amazing entrepreneur and venture capitalist. His son is also a crypto venture capitalist. I think they're 3rd generation venture. And I pitched him, I know him for a long time. He actually said no to like 3 of my other ventures. I lost $3 billion in exits by saying no to me. So I pitched him Celsius in 2017, and he was like looking at it and he was saying, Alex, I'm not going to give you my Bitcoin. No one's going to give you their Bitcoin, And here we are. This is Tim talking about us 3 years later.
Alex is the innovator of. He's the first of the DeFi. I mean, anytime you hear DeFi, think Celsius, because that's what they were first.
So I give him credit for admitting that for the 4th time that he missed investing in a company. It's only up 2,000% in the past year. But the point is that, look, we all make mistakes. I said no to Google, to Sergey Brin. I said no to the Skype team. And even funnier than that, back in the early 90s, I was the big shot. I would go to all these conferences, and I remember meeting Jeff Bezos at one of these. I think it was PC Forum 96 or something, 95, something like that. And he was talking to me about how he's going to create this website for books and this and that. I think it was already live, but it was only selling books back then. And I was like, thinking to myself, my God, like who needs a site to buy books? So if you think about Amazon and how amazingly they've done, kind of growing from just the book category into basically selling you 300 million products they have on their website. So we want to do the same thing, right? I mean, what Celsius is all about is we're starting with the yield stuff, but the idea is to give you every financial product that you will ever think about, right? And sometimes, again, when you think about your mistakes, if you apply them and if you learn from them, then those are that's what needs to happen. If you don't learn from them, then shame on you. So this is another review. I'll give them a chance to.
Hey guys, what's going on? Aaron Bennett here. And with what just happened with crypto.com, living in the United States, I am moving my crypto to Celsius wallet or to Celsius network. I am not going to keep any crypto other than the minimum amount I need to keep my 10,000 CRO car.
So Aaron, again, voting for Celsius, has been a long time crypto.com supporter. They slashed their rewards by like 90%. Basically, they folded, right? So if you think of Vegas, where you basically, every time we come to the table and we have a full house or a flash or whatever, and the other guys are just like, okay, fine, I'm just walking away. I can't take this anymore. So seeing, again, the guys that are not really earning this yield folding is something that shows you how strong Celsius is compared to some of the other guys out there. Here's another review.
All right, to get started, Bitfinex will offer 6.2% interest on all 3 popular coins. This is great news for anybody who's a Celsius token holder. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar with Celsius, I recommend watching my video review, which you can access by clicking the upper right-hand corner of your screen or in the description below. Since my original investment in early 2019, Celsius has produced phenomenal gains, and recently the price hit a new all-time high of approximately $1.50. But the team isn't slowing down. With this recent partnership, they're going to see millions of new clients utilize their services.
So again, like a lot of our kind of early adopters are people who joined us a long time ago, who have been patient, right? It did take some time, but then we've seen that logarithmic growth, both in users and in AUM or deposits, as well as basically the price to sell token. So all these things are now basically, it's the joke is that success has many fathers. Now everybody claims that they discovered Celsius first, and failure is an orphan. When you're a failure, no one wants to talk about you. But this one I really like. I think this is one of the best reviews out there of Celsius. It puts it all together. So if you haven't seen it, I would definitely take the time and take a look at it. So let me just play the start here so you know what it is.
Crypto lending is all the rage right now, and that has jump-started a bit of a battle between decentralized and centralized finance. DeFi versus CeFi, if you will. Now, I'm a bit of a not your keys, not your bit.
So again, a lot of opinions, but the reviews are all thumbs up for Celsius. Again, Crypto Love, he's been following us for a very, very long time. He's a huge fan of Celsius.
Crypto Love, today's episode, we're taking a look at the top gainer for the week, Celsius. Taking a look, is it still a good buy and where it could potentially go in this mind-boggling price prediction?
I just love Crypto Love. He just makes me laugh every time I watch him. So a lot of stuff going on, and I just want to emphasize specifically about Bitfinex because a lot of people are skeptical. They don't know Bitfinex this, Bitfinex that, right? But when one of these major exchanges does something like this, it forces everybody to jump in, right? So if you look at what Coinbase did, if you look at what Binance did, they did a little bit, right? They kind of offered, like Coinbase offered you a little bit interest on DAI, they offered you a little bit interest on USDC, like not even 1%, I mean like fraction of. And just as a way to kind of hold back their customers leaving, right? But now that Bitfinex is offering 6.2% on Bitcoin and these high rates on the other coins that we mentioned, that is going to force everybody to do something, right? So don't share my screen yet, Zach, but I want to show something.
Okay.
One sec. I do want to. So maybe you cover a few things, and then I'll take over, because I'm trying to find something that actually is not. I didn't prepare, but I want to show the.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the chat where everyone's asking for the promo code. Okay, the promo code is here. It's going to be $50 for anyone that takes a loan. Promo code is TREAT50, TREAT 50. It's going live on Monday. Anyone can take advantage of this, get $50 for taking out a loan any size. And on top of that, we are lowering the minimum for loans. It's down to $500. Smallest loan is $500 now, not $1,000, $500. Take that loan using promo code TREAT50 and get $50 for taking that loan.
Yeah, great job. So just yeah, so you can share the screen right now. And
all right,
let me see the dates here. Here we go. All right, so as you guys can see, this is the history of balances on exchanges, right? So going all the way back to like October of 2019, and you can see that it's been going up and up and up and up until the flash crash in March 2020, right? And if you remember, if you look at the chart of Celsius, you will see the Celsius numbers just skyrocket as of March 2020. Let me see if I have the chart here. So this is an example. This is one of the charts showing you, again, the activity on exchanges, right? The blue is liquid, the red is Uniswap, just exploding, activity exploding. This is OTC, right? So this is people who are buying OTC. So this just shows you how crazy the activity has been for Celsius. Basically, March is right here, right? Okay, record deposit. This is last week, right? Record deposits. This is how much withdrawals we have in red. So all these numbers are showing you what's happening every week. Again, this is, you have this chart on Twitter. So again, this is March right here. You can see just Celsius exploding to the upside, right? Just going crazy. The number of people earning in sale doubling from 20% to 40%, right? 45%. And all of that had to do with the fact that Celsius proved itself, again, came out smelling like a rose, right? From this huge collapse where most exchanges, the value of stuff on exchanges dropped by 50%. And since then, we've seen these major withdrawals everywhere. The reason Bitfinex and everybody else is doing it is not because they want to. They have to. They don't have a choice, right? All the balances across the boards on exchanges are going down. So these are all things that show you how much pressure we are putting, good pressure. It's not bad pressure because it's good for you. It's just bad for the exchanges. So if you're an exchange, you're not paying interest to your depositors, you're not paying anything to your users, they're just going to leave you. There's so many options now that they're just not going to stay with you. And I think even Fidelity has started listening to my AMAs, because if you've missed it, Fidelity announced that they're issuing new asset allocation of, basically they're telling everybody they have to buy 5% Bitcoin. Let me see. I didn't put that on, but
yeah. How about
Fidelity,
that?
Bitcoin, what?
The largest asset managers in the world is now recommending a 5% Bitcoin allocation. That's, I mean, this is 2020.
That's right. So where is it? Is it here somewhere? Or anyway, you can find it. You can find it easily online yourself. And again, MicroStrategy, Square together buying over $500 million worth of Bitcoin. It's kind of like an average day for us, but that's fine. You know, big news. And by the way, we want to bring a lot of new guests to this show, or to the MOIP show. So if you have recommendations of who you want us to bring in, please let us know. And I actually have a guest today. Somebody, I invited a special guest to join me today. Somebody who's a world expert in crypto. I don't know if you met them before, but my wife, Chrissy, for those of you who haven't, maybe, yeah, okay. We have to like squeeze it in. Here we go.
Hi.
Fit in.
It's the bank.
Yeah, exactly. If you haven't watched our videos, my
Those
wife.
were great videos.
Yes.
I miss doing those.
And we've done those when COVID just started. Before even we started, I think the weekly AMAs, we decided to do some kind of like make fun of the banks, and my wife agreed to play the bank. But the next 10 episodes we will do with me trying to play the bank. Let's see if that works. So yeah, so I think everybody wants to know how it is to live with the machine. You know, like what.
Well, I think one of the most important things I wanted to share was just how early on you thought of this. You know, I think that you don't give yourself enough credit for when you came up with this and how you came up with this. So I think, what year do you have this documented as?
Wow. So I tried to make electronic money back in 2003. Attaching money to emails. I remember we had a startup that tried to do that, and it was a simple idea. It was basically like, why can't we just send each other an email and attach money to it, right? And I remember the authorities knocked on my doors to kind of say, you can't just do that. You can help the people. They must use the bank, you know. So I've been thinking about this for a very long time, and after reading Satoshi's paper, 2009, I think, and then I posted on Twitter. One of my buddies pinging me again in 2011, saying, "Okay, let's do this Bitcoin thing," you know. And I kept saying, "No, you know, like it's not my field, not my space."
So there was a moment that I remember sitting in the living room in our old apartment. You were reading an article in the Times, and you kind of had that aha moment. Do you remember that moment when you looked at me and said, okay, I know this is the future, right?
Yeah. What got me really irritated were, again, banks being caught again and again, basically defrauding their customers, billions of dollars, like Wells Fargo opening 3 million fake bank accounts, HSBC. And again, you can Google all of this. This is not me making it up.
Wells Fargo really is the worst.
Well, HSBC got caught laundering hundreds of billions of dollars for the mob, for the cartel in Mexico, and not a single person went to jail. Right? I mean, Danske Bank laundered $600 billion for the Russian mob. Again, Google it, right? Not a single person goes to jail. So when you see that again and again and again, you realize that it's not just systemic. It's like soaked in, like you can't just fix that system. It's not like you can go to some politician, or you can do lobbying, or you can run for office and you will fix that, right? I mean, the system itself is supporting all of that. And
I don't think you do politics on this show.
It's not, yeah, look, a recent report showed up that showed that Deutsche Bank did 1.3 trillion with a T, trillion. That's 1.3 with 12 zeros right behind it, 11 zeros behind it. Worth of money laundering, right? That they just basically somebody figured it out. So it's visceral, right? So what I decided to focus on is building a new system, not fixing the old system,
right? I see these little micro product improvements that you do because you have such an amazing community. By the way, I just love the Celsius community. I love the communication we have. Through Twitter. I love the messages, and I love talking to all of you so much. So I just wanted to say that to everyone out there. But I think the way you do these micro improvements all the time.
Yeah, every 2 or 3 weeks.
Right, exactly. And what was the latest one that you just did?
So we've added new coins. Like each coin is actually a major improvement. I mean, people don't understand that, but tokens is easy to add because they're all riding on Ethereum or something else. But when you add a coin, when you add a new blockchain, right? And we have more blockchains than anybody else. You're supporting a whole new ecosystem. So when we added, what did we add recently? Coins, Zach. I forgot already. What was the last one? But Zcash, just just adding Zcash last week. That is not a little thing.
The whole crypto industry, the whole crypto community is what I feel when you're doing this.
And we said since we launched, right, we are not going to pick winners and losers. I mean, the reason I'm constantly talking about CoinDesk and the block is because they're doing exactly the opposite of that. They do pick winners and losers. They do decide who to promote and who not to promote. So we want to support everyone in the community. We want the community to decide who is winning and who's losing. The community to decide which project is doing better or not. Is it going to be, Cardano? Is it going to be Ethereum? Is it going to be Bitcoin, or is it going to be Bitcoin Cash? Right? That's not our job. So the reason I'm getting irritated about these things, and people
you get irritated? No.
Well, people email me afterwards and say, Alex, don't let them bring you down. Don't talk about it. Move on. Blah blah blah. But again, I grew up in communism. I know what it is not to get any news and only get fake news all day long. So when I see us even leaning a little bit towards that, I want to fight that. That's all I'm saying. I'm talking about the crypto community, not the election or anything like that.
But the goal is to make it accessible for
7.5 billion people. Exactly. I mean, that's the goal. It's again, it's not about the U.S. It's not about whatever. It's a global problem.
Right.
The banks I mentioned, they're all global banks. I mean, you name it. The fraud there, and the funniest thing is I love these people who say, oh, crypto is all fraudulent transactions. I mean, one bank, one of these things I just mentioned is 100 times bigger than all of crypto, right? So come on, guys, All right.
Fraud has become a part of their business model. If they make $100 billion laundering transaction and only have to pay a $1 billion fine, then that's a tax.
Exactly. So, but tell us maybe share with the community, like your thoughts on, because you were also, you keep asking me like, how come I can't just transfer my self token to everybody I want, right? All these restrictions, for the frustrations
that's a little
you have.
Frustrating, right? Yeah. Because I would like to invite or be able to transact with people in certain states, and you can't do that, right? That's challenging. And as a woman, I would like to be able to invite other women easily through, an app, and you can't do that. Right.
And we talked about specifically educating women as well, about they're creating independence for them, financial independence, because a lot of women don't think that they can even achieve that. They always think like, oh, I have to get married, or I have to work really hard by myself to create my own, and then they don't save enough and they don't create that independence. Right.
So, well, I feel like through blockchain and Bitcoin, there is an easy path for women to be able to do that. But again, we have to figure out a way to transact much faster and easier through these applications. And states should not be the authority on what I want to use. So I have a real issue with that when I go to use it and I can't use it in certain places, whether it's blocked in New York or blocked in Florida or blocked, wherever it is. That to me is a big issue.
So my wife was born in the United States, and she is running for president, since I can.
No, I'm kidding. For mayor of New York City.
Now, jokes aside, though, there is a lot we can do, especially like making the regulators comfortable that all of the stuff.
Why aren't they comfortable? What is the problem?
Well,
exactly.
So again, the rules are set by the Senate, who actually passes laws, right? So the SEC and the CFTC and all these guys, they're just a policeman.
And politicians.
Exactly.
I think that's what I'm hearing. Right. Although we're not supposed to talk politics.
No, this is not politics. I mean, the Republicans, the Democrats, they're all lobbying, right? I mean, they all do lobbying. And the banks are some of the largest lobbyists in the world. They pass the laws. And then the guy who is enforcing the law, is the SEC. So the SEC is just enforcing what the politicians told them, and who told the politicians to write this or that law.
It seems overly complicated.
Well, it's complicated.
Many
It's
regulations.
all done behind closed doors. You don't get to participate in that. So the average person, the government's supposed to work for you. The government's supposed to represent you and what you want.
Which is why I pay so much in taxes.
Exactly. But there's such a big gap between what you want and what actually happens, because again, it's trickled down. By the time the laws are passed, they have nothing to do with you or me. But the point is that we can take back that power. We can create systems that act in our best interest.
Right.
And the happiest, like every day. Today, I got 2 messages from 2 people. One of them has actually works for Celsius, Wasim, who told me, hey, I achieved that point that you talk about. I am now financially independent because my interest is enough to pay my rent. And the minute that happens to you, exactly. So congrats, Wasim, and a few other people. I'm not sure if you want me to mention your name, but the point is, the minute that happens to you, your brain rewires. Your brain starts saying, wow, so if I keep saving, I can pay my Netflix, I can pay my phone bill, suddenly I paid all my bills. And then I paid all my bills, plus I paid all the bills of my kids.
So that was Mashinsky Monday.
Yes. So
That's
that
how
was
we started that.
Exactly. Every Monday when you get that interest, just mentally you have to ask yourself, okay, how much is it? Is it enough to do what? Is it enough just for the cup of coffee? Or is it enough for my lunch for the entire day? Is it enough? And just make that progress. It's not about achieving that in one day. It's about having more and more and more of your daily needs covered by Celsius.
Yeah, and I didn't really understand that. When I first met Alex, I was a single mom living here in New York City, and I was paying an enormous amount of interest in bank fees and credit card bills. And I really had to reprogram myself to understand how much I was paying in those fees, right? Yep. And that's a lesson that, I wish I could go back and get all that money back that I paid in those fees. But
you were working so hard.
I really was.
So it was even double
I had to put food on the table.
I know, but
I didn't understand that I was giving that money to the banks and to credit card companies, and that could have been food for my child and I at that time. And I think that there's an easier way to explain it. But again, I'm going to let you guys. I'm going to leave, and thank you. It's so nice talking to everybody.
Thanks for joining us. And by the way, Chrissy launched a new site, usastrong.io. Visit it, and that site accepts crypto as payment. It is focused promoting women. It's focused on basically promoting or helping the community source US made products. So it's like a perfect. Here we go.
Hard to see.
I got to get it closer to the camera.
Okay,
just go to usastrong.io and try it out. And by the way, Chrissy's paying her employees in crypto. I mean, I love it. It's just like a full circle. So she's way ahead of Celsius. Like even we're not doing it. We're paying a few vendors, but I love when I see that the crypto economy just basically taking over, and people from all folks of life basically using these things to create a lot of value. And the employees, like Celsius, USA Strong employees, it's funny because she paid a few of them in Cell, and Cell just rocketed, right? And these people are already rich. They're like, wait a second. They think it happens every day. I'm like, no. You came in just at the perfect time, You got lucky. Most of us have been waiting for 2 or 3 years for this moment. So just going back to that chart that I think I missed. Let me see if I covered all of them here. But all right, yeah, we covered all of them. So basically, I think we covered most of the things of the day. One more big news is that we are lowering the loan minimums to $500. As you know, right now it's $1,000. So now you will only need $1,000 worth of collateral, right? So you can basically take a loan, a $500 loan, and you only need $1,000 worth of uni or $1,000 worth of Bitcoin or anything like that. So the plan is that goes live on Monday with the app update. So again, because of the time difference and everything else, if you're in Australia and it doesn't work for you, you have to wait until nighttime, because your nighttime is our daytime, and that's where the update may be hitting the app stores and everything else, right? So, or the Google stores and so on. So, but the point is that we constantly lowering the bar, as you've seen also with our rewards, inviting more and more, being more inclusive, making it easier for people, lowering the rates we charge you and increasing the rates we pay you, which is what I'm preaching all the banks should be doing every day, right? And they're not doing any of it. So the more we do that, the easier it is for all of us in the crypto community to convert people to join us, right? And so I'm really excited about that. Every time we have an announcement like this, and this is what Chrissy was talking about, of us adding these little things, incremental little things every week. So a lot of time you look at this, it's a small change. It's not a small change. It affects thousands and thousands of people. So apply for that loan. It's definitely one of the best things we have. Again, when you take a loan, you're paying taxes. You're not selling your coins and immediately giving half of it to the government, right? You're deferring that. And the loan, the interest on the loan, if you do it right, can be tax deductible. You can actually go and show it to the government and say, hey, I'm not paying you. Not just that I saved all the other taxes, I'm also not paying you taxes on all this money. And the low rates we're offering at, it should be illegal not for you not to take that loan. Okay, that's how good it is. So take that loan, pay down your credit card. I don't care if the $500 is all you can afford. That $500 less in interest you're going to. If you do it again and again and again and again, you're going to be debt free, right? The whole point is to get debt free first. There's no point saving if you're paying 24% on your credit card. You got to get debt free first. You got to get rid of all of that money that Chrissy was talking about, she was giving to the banks. First, you got to do that. Then you start savings and have the savings pay for you, right? Those are the steps. You cannot reverse them. If you reverse them and you're basically still paying Chase Manhattan Bank 24% and you're earning 6.2% on your Bitcoin, that is now working. Okay, so take the loan, pay off the credit card, then start saving. That's the order of events. All right, we have a lot of questions, so let's jump into the questions and we'll try to hit all of them, as many of them as we can.
Yeah, buddy, here we go. Okay, Ewan is asking, how long does it take to apply for a loan and receive funds?
Sure, great question. First, everybody is approved. I know a lot of people ask me every week, how do I know if I'm pre-approved or pre-approved? Everybody is pre-approved for a Celsius loan. We accept everybody. Everybody who has anything on deposit with us, anything on deposit. And now the limit is 1,000 instead of 2,000. So we just make it twice as good, right? And basically, there are some restrictions, geographic restrictions, which we're working on. We're opening, for example, I think next week, we're opening all of the UK to everybody. Before that, it was open to just some of the people. So the best thing to do is to open the app. If you see the loan button, you click on it, and it does two things. First, you can immediately process your loan if you're in a jurisdiction that allows you to do that. And if you're not, it tells us that you want a loan in this or that country or this or that state, and that helps us prioritize where we're going next. So sometimes, again, if your jurisdiction or if you're traveling and it doesn't give you that option, don't give up, because if you cross the line, if you just go 5 miles west and you go country or a different state, you may be legally authorized to do that, right? To take that loan. So we don't set the rules, unfortunately. We are fully compliant, as I showed you in that chart of White Trust Celsius, and we don't want to give the regulators any reason, or the banks any reason, to shut us down. So we have to follow the rules. We have disclaimers and disclosures and the T's and C's that tell you exactly where we are not allowed to operate and so on. So if you want to dig into the details, do that. But overall, loans are our highest priority. That's how we help people. And again, now that we're profitable, that's why we're lowering the minimums. We're making it easier. We're putting promotions, right? Like the promotion that Zach told you about. You get $50 if you take a loan. $50. Like, besides getting that super low rate, now we're just throwing money at you, right? So and
that'll cover all your interest.
But more than that, exactly. So you would say, wait a second, why are you giving me free money? And the reason is that many times people say, I don't really need it, or my balance with a credit card is not that high. They give themselves every reason in the world, and they don't look at their statement in December and see that they paid $5 or $10 or $15,000 to their bank, right? They just don't look at it, especially now that the banks stop mailing you that the statements. It's all electronic. Who looks at it, right? But do me a favor and log in and take a look at it. It's already almost November, right? So look at how much interest you paid already, and think about how easy it is. Click 3 or 4 buttons. Take a loan, take that money, pay off that credit card directly, and never pay the bank any money again. And then, again, start saving. Start having for you instead of you working for the money. If Chrissy can do it, you can do it too. All right, next question.
All right, Alex, Stacy's asking, could you tell us what is counterparty risk and what should we be worried about as users?
Right. So counterparty risk is like, if you think about the iceberg that took down the Titanic, and you look at the little piece of ice sticking out, and there's a giant piece of ice under the ice, that is systemic risk or counterparty risk, right? And every time there is a mess on Wall Street, every time, it's because of counterparty risk, because one institution does not trust another institution. And that's what happened to our economy just in September of 2019. Most of you didn't notice that, but the repo market, which was where institutions basically lend to each other, froze. What does it mean froze? No one trusted anybody else. I have a bunch of interviews about that on our channel with Kitco and others. So just you can dig into that more if you're interested. But the point is that we have to be very conservative when we lend out, right? We say no every day to loans. I'm talking about institutional loans. Major companies come to us and say, I want to borrow 1,000 Bitcoin. And we have to say no to them because they would not provide collateral. And then you have tremendous amount of counterparty risk, meaning if that guy causes a problem or goes out of business or gets into financial distress, they are not going to pay us back because we are the small fish. Even with the $1.6 billion in assets, we're still a small fish compared to some of the other guys. So their priorities are going to be to satisfy the debts they have with Goldman Sachs, with Morgan Stanley, with all these guys versus Celsius Network. So that's why we want to be very conservative. We want to lend to the best quality borrowers, and we want to ask them for collateral, right? So really, if you think about it, the main service Celsius provides for these 200,000 people that are entrusting us with all their coins is risk management, right? We do risk management on Uniswap. We do risk management on that's DeFi, right? On exchanges. We lend to Bitfinex, for example. So we do risk management with them. Now we have a much better risk management with Bitfinex. Why? Because when we lend them and they give us coins, their customer coins, we have a great balance, right? Now we don't have to worry. We have to worry less about them, even though they're great institutions and they're amazing, right? On behalf of the community, we're not thinking of them as, oh, these guys are our friends. We met them a bunch of times. We went to lunch together. That doesn't matter at all. The only thing that matters is if there's something worse than March 12th, are these guys going to stand behind their liabilities or not? So our job, and I said this many times, right? We're not neutral. Okay, Uniswap, as much as I love them, right? Uniswap, they're a neutral platform. They could care less if you came to buy or came to sell. Or again, Aave is a neutral platform that could care less if you're a lender or a borrower, right? Celsius never represents the other side. We only represent our depositors. Next question.
All right.
We're not neutral, and I love
Celsius, you represent us, the user, right? I'm a user. I've got assets
exactly.
on Celsius, and the company represents me along with everyone else in the community.
I'm your representative.
Yeah, go fight for me. You're a boxer, right?
The machine represents you. The machine represents you. Yeah. You think somebody else is going to do a better job?
All right, Gunner's asking, how does Celsius keep up with the weekly reward payments compared to BlockFi and others' monthly payments?
Yeah, so again, Zach, the CEO of BlockFi, keeps posting these posts where he basically admits again and again that they're not earning the yield and they're subsidizing it from this or that account, meaning they're using their investors' money to pay the rewards. I can assure you, I've said that 100 times. I'll say it again. All of our rewards, everything we pay you comes from earnings, from actual yield that we generated from customers, right? That is a sustainable model, right? If you're subsidizing everything like Crypto.com did, there comes a day where you say, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. Let me cut it by 90%, right? So, but that was their plan from the beginning. What they wanted to do is, it's like Uber, right? They give you free rides. They give you rides at 50%, then the rides at 20%. Then the rides are at full price, right? But because Celsius is paying so much to the community, they can't do that. I mean, their plan was to slowly wean you off these high rates and pay you almost nothing. That's what the banks did over the last 30 years.
Right.
Right? It just took them 30 years. BlockFi was planning to do it in 3 days. So I don't know, 3 months. I don't know how fast. But the point is, our incentive is not to squeeze as much money out of you as possible. Our incentive is to bring 100 million or 1 billion people into crypto, right? Why? Because it's a win-win-win, right? We do good and then we do well. How do we do well? We have a cell token. Our cell token votes for the health of the community every minute. No one else has that, right? I mean, BlockFi doesn't have a token. They don't have any other mechanism that creates value, or creates yield, or creates anything, right? So for us, the community, basically now cell token, again, there's 700 million cell tokens, right? 695 million, but I'm rounding the number to 700 million. If it's trading at $1.30, that's close to $1 billion worth of value. I know most of it is not in circulation or whatever, but you have to count all the cell tokens. And you have to think to yourself, what is the value the community created? And is that value going to increase or the value going to shrink? So as long as we're adding users, as long as the users are adding assets and the assets are yielding and the yield is given back to the community, that market cap or that value is going to continue to increase. And that's really the unique flywheel that we have that no one else has, right? And most of that value, 80% of that value goes straight to the community. It drops straight to the community. I guarantee you, there's no bank in the world. There's no financial institution in the world. There's no one in the world, no a single company that has ever given 80% of the revenues of what they generated to their community, right? That's just unheard of, right? And that's why Celsius, all these articles you're seeing that I showed you before, all the people who are telling you the 40 millionaires we've created, right? These are people that understood that earlier than everybody else. They figured it out. They said, okay, yes, there is something special here. And again, we're 200,000 people deep. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay? Like people are saying,
oh, $1 billion to go.
Yeah, they can't grow from here. They're already so big. Big? How about 7.5 billion people? Okay.
Yeah.
So when all I'm saying is it's very, very early days, right? Now, again, I don't want to celebrate and tell everybody, oh, we're resting on our laurels and we don't have to do anything. The thing is like running and Alex is just hanging out and he's on vacation or whatever. I'm still working 7 days a week. The machine, for those of you who contacted me, most of you get an answer within a few hours. Some of you within a few minutes. People always saying, Alex doesn't answer his emails. Somebody else answers his emails. That's why he's responding. I answer all my emails. There isn't a single Celsius employee who has a password to my inbox. I answer my phones. People call and say, is this Celsius customer service? I'm like, no, it's Alex. And they're like, shit. And they want to hang up. And I'm like, no, just tell me what you need. And I take care of it. I'm customer service too. I had 2 calls today. And people were like, wait a second, I have no idea where they're getting the number from, but it's on the bottom of my email. So you can try it, see that it works. Anyway, the point is not bragging. I'm just trying to tell you that we care, right? We do all this stuff because we care, and every one of our employees care. If you don't care, you don't survive in Celsius, right? But if you care, you join Celsius. Again, Zach, Wasim, all these people, Ryan, right? I can give you 50 names of people who proved themselves, right? They did stuff part-time for us. They did an amazing job. And we ran after them, a bunch of people, I can't say their name because they just don't want, they're camera shy or publicity shy, but love you all. And thanks for all the hard work you're doing. Next question.
Kim just messaged me. She said, we've got tons of new merch in the shop.celsius.network. Go check it out. I don't know if you want to pull it up. Maybe after this next question, we could go through the store to see what's hot. She's
Yeah, I
been
can pull it up
working
now.
on
I
a ton
think
of designs.
there's a link at the bottom of our site, I think. So if you go to our site, definitely Kim runs the store. I think we mentioned that to you guys. And so again, if you look at our rates, blah, 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 all the good stuff, you go all the way to the bottom. And by the way, the images now show our real rates. They had some old rates on, so we refreshed that as well. 8.2 billion, that's an old number. We're over $10 billion in loans, almost 200,000 users. We just crossed the 1.6 billion AUM. Yeah, it's growing like crazy. So here there is, where is it?
No, I think it's at the top of the button, but it's also shop.celsius.network to go straight to the store.
Top of the button? What do you mean top of the button?
The top of the
here,
you can
swag
just type
shop.
in
It's right there. I knew it was
shop.celsius.
here. You see?
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
at the
I
bottom
need to get
of
more
the,
familiar with the website.
yeah, the bottom right, there's a swag shop. You click on it, and
There it
there's
is. Woo!
all this fancy
Those
stuff,
designs.
especially for your newborns. We had like 3 new babies, I think, in Celsius just in the last few weeks, born to Celsius employees. Congrats. And or at least one is on the way. 2 are out, and 1 is just doesn't want to come out. So a lot of great swag here, and definitely buy some for yourself, buy some for others. All profits from this store go back to the Celsius community, right? So if you want to do good and do well, this is one way you can do good. Buying some swag, sharing it with others. It's funny. I was walking with my 5-year-old here in Manhattan, and somebody was wearing a HODL shirt, and my son ran to him. He's like, "That is my dad's company." He was so excited. That was just like it brought tears to my eyes, and it was just like just amazing to see, like the passion with my 5-year-old. You know, he already wants to be a machine. So I think one of those 7 shirts are going to go to him. You know, we just need it in baby size. All right, next.
Yeah. If you could, one more thing I want to show on the shop. If you look at those top 2 rows of designs, on the very top, those are all community made designs. We saw them, someone submitted them. Shout out to Jeff for hooking up that connection. And we contacted them and purchased those from a community member. So we appreciate getting all that stuff, and great ideas are always welcome.
Right. So one more thing I wanted to show here while we're on the screen. So we had a chart. If you're using the Celsius app, there was a chart that showed you how we were doing versus Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it had a wrong number on it. It kept showing 400% or something and so on. So we are officially 2,222% up in the last 12 months, right? Compared to this is what Bitcoin did, this is what Ethereum did, and so on. So just killing it, right? Just killing it. So again, if you're using your wallet, again, you can see again total deposits since the Celsius network was created, 2.5 billion, right? So yes, we have 1.6 billion right now, but we actually got 2.5 billion to date, and we had a bunch of withdrawals, obviously, and so on. So just the numbers are just crazy. So when I see other people are bragging about 50 million here or 500 million there, I'm like, yeah, great. So we are a movement. Again, we're just 200,000 people. Imagine what we do when we're 1 million or 2 million or 100 million, right? We can pass our own laws. We can decide what in every country, what is best for the people, right? And that's really where we need to get to, because we want everyone to act in your best interest. There's just no reason that it's not that way today already. All right, so next question.
All right, next question from Daniel. Are US Celsius users able to hold Cell token right now?
Yes, so you can, there are many ways for you to acquire it. If you go on Uniswap or if you go on Total, I think we have a bunch of links on our site. You can also buy it OTC. So again, email otc@celsius.network, and we'll either sell it to you directly, or if we are not allowed to, we'll connect you to somebody else. You're allowed to do it peer-to-peer. You're just not allowed to do it some other ways. And even though like we're listed on Liquid, but you might be blocked on Liquid, there are other ways to purchase these things. Again, Celsius itself may not be a seller. We're not recommending. This is not a show about us trying to promote you or invite you to buy, sell token. Okay, we are not financial advisors. We're not giving financial advice. We are here to share the facts with you. We're here to tell you what we're doing. Each person has to make their own decisions. And when we're showing you that the sell token is up a crazy amount, that also may mean that it may go down. So I don't want everyone to feel like, oh, here I found the free train to retirement. It's never going to go down. It's guaranteed to go down. There's 100% chance that the sell token will go down, but then it may go up. It might go up a lot. It might go up a little. No one knows. If anyone tells you they know, just like no one knows if Apple stock is going to go up, anyone who tells you otherwise is lying to you. Okay? So we want to clarify that because we are doing our best. Everyone in Celsius, everyone in the community is doing their best. But if tomorrow something happens in the United States or something happens around the world, or I don't know what, none of that is in our control. So life is completely unpredictable. And that's why you should never put money you cannot afford to lose. You should never put that into anything, not into Celsius, not into Bitcoin, not into Apple stock, right? And everything in moderation. And when you do well, and I've said that many times, right? When you do exceptionally well, if you got lucky and you're up 2,222%, you should take some off the table. That is a perfect time to take some and put it in a different bucket, because now you have too much sell and not enough Apple stock, right? So you want to rebalance. That's what every financial advisor will tell you. Again, I'm not one of them. I'm just telling you what they say. And rebalancing helps you avoid these situations where, again, it's horrible, right? You hear people who made all this money and then they lost all of it, right? So you don't want that to happen to you, especially if you're relying on that money. Next question.
All right, Jamie's asking, could you go over the flywheel again and clarify how important a fixed supply of sell token is?
So yeah, and I want to put it in the context of crypto.com, because I've shown that once or twice in previous AMAs where effectively crypto.com does not have capped supply. Same thing with XRP. Yes, there is only a maximum number of tokens or coins they can issue, but the fact that they're bleeding a lot of coins into the market or tokens into the market creates a disparity between what you earned and what the market cap is. So crypto.com market cap is up 10 times over the last year. Not as good as Celsius, but still doing exceptionally well. But you as a token holder, a CRO holder, you only did 2 or 3 times, right? So why there's a gap between those two? There shouldn't be. With Celsius, there's zero gap. Why? Because there is never, the opposite. Celsius is buying tokens off the market, right? So you have to watch, again, not what they say, but what they do. That's why we publish on our website, right? If you go to the Celsius website, we publish all the wallets, right? So if you go to sell token, right, and you just scroll down, I love this site. It's really, the team did a great job.
It's beautiful.
With this.
Great job.
So you see the machine here, you see all the top 200. And then if you keep scrolling down, right, this is the incentives we talked about earlier. Right under that, you see all the wallets. And for each wallet, you can see what is the balance, who belongs to. So the minute, if you see Celsius dumping from Treasury, right, or from the locked coins, then you know that effectively Celsius is grabbing some of that appreciation, right? We have not touched these wallets in years. Okay, so the only wallet that we are going to touch is what we told you guys about the team. The team is going to get 50 million tokens, 25 when it hits $1.50, and another 25 when it hits a multiple of that, and that's what is going to be released. But everything else is basically, obviously, all the other numbers change because this is what people depositing with us and so on. So So you have to watch that. And the other guys just don't publish that number unless you dig through their smart contract and you watch what they do every week and so on. You're not going to find any of this information. Why? Because they want to hide it from you. They don't want you to know, right? So just, again, it's very important, because the question is, who gets that benefit of the flywheel, right? Does the benefit go to the company like it is with Crypto.com, right? They get most of that benefit. They grab most of that value to themselves. Or the benefit goes to the community of Cell token holders. And somebody asked me before, while we were on this page, this is a Cell that is held inside the app, right? Meaning Celsians either bought this on Uniswap or Liquid or somewhere else, bought it in the ICO, and then they deposited that in the Celsius app, meaning that we control this wallet, right? Celsius controls this wallet, and the balance here increases every week. This is the wallet that CoinMarketCap will not count. CoinMarketCap, which is owned by Binance, who's asking us for $1 million for a listing, is basically saying this, well, you guys control it, so we're not going to count it. Well, these are all the Celsians. This is the wallet, the most loyal people of almost any project out there, right? Who are basically putting it here because staking it with Celsius because they want to earn that 5%, right? So it's just idiotic that they don't include that, and that's why the market cap on CMC is so much lower than it is everywhere else, right? Like Coin360 and all the other guys count it properly. That's why I told you guys, just use coin360.com, which has much more accurate numbers. Again, another example of people in the industry just not giving you the information. It's just painful, right? It's like, seriously? You want to play it like that? Fine. The machine is going to tear you into shreds. I'm just going to steal all your customers. Next.
I feel like our community groundswell is overtaking all of this nonsense and all the media blackout and everything, all the headwinds that we faced. Our community groundswell is overcoming that now, and it's unreal. I'm so impressed.
No,
so
you're
happy
right.
to be a part of it.
Yeah, somebody famous once said, right? You cannot fool all the people all the time. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. So sooner or later, the truth comes out, and the truth is stronger than any lies. Lies travel faster than the truth, but the truth eventually catches up. And when you have an egg on your face from everybody who knows you, it's time to move on. So I think, like you said, the truth is catching up with all the lies. And I always say, I'll stop telling the truth about them when they stop telling lies about us. So now I used all my idioms, so let's move on. Next.
All right. Robert's asking, why does the date of earnings differ from Monday's payout date?
Well, it really has to do with when the message hits you. I mean, it's not like we pay differently. It's just that we use like external servers to basically blast the stuff out, and the order of how these things come out changes all the time for a variety of reasons, mostly to avoid internet service providers thinking that we're a spammer, right? Because again, when you're sending 200,000 emails on a Monday, there are a variety of things that we do to make sure that people don't think of us as a spammer. So one day you'll get it in the first thing in the morning, you're the first one to get it. And the next Monday you might be the last one to get it. But that does not change anything. The interest, I think, is calculated Friday to Friday. So when you get the message, like, getting the mail, it doesn't matter when you get it. The check has been issued already, right? So you got the mail on Friday or you got the mail on Saturday. Nothing changed. Next question.
All right, and on top of that, the
only
calculation
thing you should worry about, the only thing you should worry about is, did Celsius earn this reward? Did Celsius subsidize it? Did Celsius lie to you that they're earning it, but they're not really earning it? And that's why one of the largest projects we've ever done is proof of community, right? And that's coming out. And again, we're going to publish the source code for it. So anyone can audit us, not just for the service of verifying that we have the assets, verifying that we are lending them out, verifying that we received that reward, verifying that you got what you deserve, the portion, the percentage, just like if you're a percentage of the unipool, right? And you know, okay, I'm 1% of the unipool, I should get 1% of the interest. Celsius invented that. Celsius was the first one to say, here's the pool. We're going to add everybody else in, as Tim Draper told you again and again, right? And now you can get, so until now, we haven't shown everybody what it is and how it is and so on. Like, again, I give credit to Uniswap for being so transparent, but we're going to be even more transparent, okay? We're going to be proof, cryptographic proof, which you're not getting from anyone on the planet today. Cryptographic proof of all these things I just mentioned, right? And that's going to set a whole new standard for both DeFi and for CeFi, because anyone who wants to join these communities is gonna, we're gonna raise the bar by 1,000 feet, okay, for everybody else. Not by 10 feet, by 1,000 feet. And then we're gonna raise it again by 2 miles, and we're gonna raise it again by light years. Okay, that's our job. Our job is, we're never gonna stop. Okay, so we're not gonna rest on our laurels, you know? Moving on.
The snowball is just going to keep building momentum, building speed, and
That's
building
right.
size.
Yeah.
But I think
this marathon just turned into 5,000 miles, you know?
Yeah, there you go. The calculation for interest is done Friday through Thursday and then paid out on Monday. So you see it, the Friday's date on there, because that's when it was calculated, and then you receive it on Monday. So that's the cause of also that discrepancy. All right, big question we get a lot. This one's coming from Jake. In the occurrence of death, how are assets within Celsius given to the relevant family members? I see like a lot of community members are saving, you know, to pass down to their family. And so this is a huge concern of, if I save all this money, how can I be sure my kids or my grandkids are going to get these funds?
Yeah, so we follow all the legal rules in each country. For example, in the United States, you have to produce a death certificate or a will or anything like that, and your heirs basically can claim the asset. We are going to allow you to add like a hidden phrase or a hidden name that unless these people know it, basically then we do like double or triple checking, right? So basically, if they have like a private password or the key, we allow them to withdraw just like you can withdraw. You still need to check things, but basically, if they don't, then we will do much deeper checking to make sure that somebody didn't produce a fake death certificate or whatever. And obviously, your heirs have to prove who they are and show. We have to talk to the lawyer or whoever is entrusted with that transitions. But the point is that, yes, I mean, with digital assets, it's much more difficult than it is with bank accounts or with, you know, for example, brokerage accounts where you're transferring this or that asset to your kids. And again, I want to mention that because it's very important. Right now, for example, in the United States, the laws are that you're allowed to gift to your kids. I think it's $11.5 million per individual. Obviously, most people don't have that amount of money, but whatever amount you have, this is a great year. Before December, this is a great year to do that gifting and take it off your estate because I don't believe that would stay. No matter who wins, I think one way or another, they're going to start, just like Crypto.com slashed all their rewards by 90%. I think you're going to start seeing it from our government as well, no matter who wins, right? So before January 1st, take advantage of this gifting to basically move it from your name to your kid's name, because you probably won't be able to do it in the next few years. So Cell is a great asset, for example, to move and take advantage of that special tax law in the United States. Next question.
And to add on to that, parents can always make accounts for their kids. They use their own KYC, but you can make an account dedicated to your kids or grandkids. They can't have one until they're 18, but you can always make one for them and put assets in there and just let them sit for, you know, however many years.
Yeah, and you can still open a Celsius account for that new person, right? And it will earn interest, and nothing will change. It's not like we're saying that to you because this way we stop paying you. Okay, that's not what we're doing. We're just trying to help you with your own tax planning. But you should talk to your tax advisor. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing.
Sure. All right. Jay's asking, thank you for supporting the Flare Network Spark token. Will it become a regular asset on Celsius?
Let's see how they do. I mean, obviously, it will be given to you inside the Celsius wallet. So yes, it will be part of the wallet. But again, we need to find borrow for it. Like if it doesn't, it may be there at zero interest because no one wants to borrow it, right? So there's a big difference between adding it and between its earning yield. So we'll see how it does, and we'll see if we can earn yield on it.
All right. Mario's asking, what was the reason behind the updated platinum program rates?
Yeah, so the main reason was to accommodate, as you can think, the Celsius user base looks like this, meaning there's much fewer platinum people than bronze, for example, and the bronze level was 0 until now, right? So basically, if you didn't have 10% of your assets in Cell token, you earn nothing, you earn 0. So in order to be more inclusive, we effectively took from the platinum guys and gave it to the bronze guys. We took 5% and moved it down to the lowest level. Now, even with 5% of your assets in Cell, having Cell worth 5% of your assets, you would be earning Cell token, which was not the case before. So, we want to do that again at some point to include even more Celsius users. But that's basically what we do, right? We're always trying to be more inclusive.
Sure. Okay, Tony's asking, with this
Take from the rich and give to the poor.
token...
Sorry, just take from the rich and give to the poor. I think
what we want is everyone to be platinum, is what we want at the end of the day.
Of course, but
right?
Again, you can be platinum with $100, right? I mean, just to explain this, because some people don't get it. People think that, okay, to be platinum, I need $1 million. No, if you have $100 of Bitcoin and you have basically $5 worth of Cell token, you are effectively bronze, right? If you have $10 worth of Cell token, right? You're now silver, and so on, right? So to be platinum, you just need $20 out of $100. If you have $1,000, you need $200, and so on, so on. So that it's not based on filthy rich. Give me a ticket to the game because I gave you guys, JP Morgan, $10 million to manage. So I want to sit in the box in the Yankees or in whatever, right? Give me those tickets for free. Otherwise, I'm taking my money and going to Goldman Sachs. That's not how this works. Okay, this is based on a percentage of your assets. You have $100, $1,000, $10,000, doesn't matter. You can be platinum or gold or silver or any of these categories. That's why a lot of people that don't understand that didn't earn and sell. And again, you can go to each asset and say, I want to earn Bitcoin in Bitcoin, but for Ethereum, because it's whatever, 9%, I want to earn in Cell token. You can go in your settings and change it. And the reason we enabled all of that is because we want you to have that flexibility. We want you to choose for each asset. You may have different beliefs. And, like some of the videos I showed you are people that chose very early to earn and sell. They didn't buy Cell. They just chose to earn and sell. And that Cell increased 2,000%. And because of that, they're now rich, or they're millionaires or whatever. So this is not a commercial for Cell token, right? That's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to show you how all these pieces work together to make the flywheel turn faster and faster and faster.
And a lot of people, because of that allocation, as the token appreciated, they went from bronze to silver to gold to platinum. And then a question I'm seeing a lot in the chat right now is, why is it that US users can't earn and sell token yet?
Yeah. So look, we don't set the rules. We are waiting for certain things to happen, legalese, to allow us to earn and sell. And as you know, we announced several times we work on a program. The minute that is available or possible, we will open it up to everyone who can participate. So again, we don't choose like some private club where we decide this guy, not the next guy. You know, that's definitely not how we operate.
Sure. Okay,
Next
question from
yeah.
Tony. With the new partnership, will Cell be listed on Bitfinex?
So we're working on that. Bitfinex has to basically enable us to do it. And the minute we know about it, we will let you know. I mean, we're waiting for them to tell us when that is happening.
Okay, copy. Let's see. Pasco's asking, hi, Alex. Are there still plans to get a debit or credit card?
Yeah, look, we all love cards, right? I mean, what we don't want to do is we don't want to create an environment in which you are spending, what do you call it? Where you're spending your money from crypto, right? I'm yet to meet one person who basically tells me, wow, you know, I bought Starbucks with my Bitcoin because I have this service that allows me to convert from this to that back 5 years ago, and I'm so happy. I can still feel the taste of that Starbucks. I mean, that was like the best Starbucks in my life. No, what they say is, I'm so dumb. You know, that coffee cost me I thought it cost me $5, but it cost me $5,000.
Right.
I can't sleep at night. Every day I'm thinking about how dumb I am that I took my precious Bitcoin or precious Ethereum or whatever and I spent it on some stupid thing. So we don't want to enable that. What we want to enable is a service in where you can borrow, for example, you can spend your interest, or you can borrow, just like we're telling you to take a loan. You can effectively use your card as a loan against your asset. That we'd like to do. So until that is globally available, again, we wanted to work with Wirecard, but they went out of business. You know, we wanted to work with some other company. They also went out of business. So we don't want to give you a service that will put your assets at risk. And unfortunately, again, the major banks, when you come to them and you say, this is what we want to do, and it's backed by crypto, the minute you say the word crypto, they're like, okay, jail is over there. Let us call 911 right now. We're going to help you get there quick. Because, you know, so the major issuers, the top issuers in the world, remember, Visa and MasterCard services the banks, the issuers of the banks. You don't get the card from Visa or MasterCard. You have to go to Citibank. You have to go to Bank of America. You have to go to JP Morgan, right? These are the world's largest issuers. And they don't want anything to do with you. They definitely don't want to enable the stuff. Okay. Next question.
All right. Could you give us an update on CellSwap? A lot of people are asking about it in the chat. Is it still planned to go live in the next couple months?
So again, it's not our project. It's not like Celsius built this stuff and we're launching it and whatever. We know it's happening. It's going to launch whenever the team finishes it. Again, we're going to have to do an audit on it. And when everything is great, we will share with you what we think about it. And do we want to add some liquidity there or not? I mean, it would be an amazing place to earn yield for Cell Token. So we love the idea. I think it's a great idea. Just like right now, you can earn yield on Cell ETH pairs on Uniswap. You'll be able to earn yield on Cell anything on CellSwap, right? That's what this is so exciting. But so you'll be able to earn yield on Cell Link, right? On Cell Compound, Cell anything, right? So you know, let them finish their work. Let's see if the community loves it. The point is when you're not swapping into something, you are in Cell token, right? You're natively in Cell, which is a huge advantage for people who believe that they want more Cell, right? So,
Right.
so I think let's see what happens, and we'll take it from there. Next question.
All right. From BT is asking, if I hold 6 Bitcoin, do the first 5 earn 6.2 and the last 1 earn 4.5, or do they all earn 4.5?
When you hold how many Bitcoin? 6?
6, yeah.
Yeah. So when you hold 6, if you're in the United States, your first 5 will earn 6.2%, and your next one will earn whatever the published rate is.
Yeah, 4.5. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're overseas, the rate is different, so it's not the first 5, right? I think it's what is the current? I think you have to be platinum across the board to earn the full rate. Otherwise, your rate for all of your coins, all of your Bitcoins is based on gold or silver or whatever the category is.
Sure. Okay, Daniel's asking, will Celsius support future government-issued digital currencies?
Yeah, there's no reason not to. They're legal. They're going to be in circulation. We want to add, again, we don't choose winners or losers. I don't like Facebook. I publicly stated that on Bloomberg several times. But it doesn't mean we're not going to support Libra, right? I mean, that has nothing to do with anything. It's not my job, unlike CoinDesk, to tell you what to know, what to not to know, what to use, what not to use, right? That's not my job. I would be doing you a disservice if I chose winners and losers, right? I mean, people ask us all the time, Alex, why do you hate this or that coin? I'm like, why do you think I hate it? Well, it's not in your wallet. It's not in my wallet because I can't earn yield, or I can't earn sustainable yield. It has nothing to do with my opinions about anything, right? So my job is to earn for you the most yield I can in a responsible way. Which asset is up to you. You choose the assets. We do not choose the assets. We support 35, soon it's going to be 40, soon it's going to be 2,000. We may have 2,000 assets in a few years from now, right? That's why I was telling you that story about Amazon. So we don't choose, we don't do the research. We don't sit there and say, oh, this new project looks amazing. Let's invest in it and then list it in the Cell token. We would never do something like that. We do not invest in any project that is listed. The only one that we bought some tokens was Saga, which is this new coin called SGR, right? But we don't have a financial interest. Not like we are incentivized to make you buy it or hold it or anything like that. So again, I'm declaring, unlike Binance, unlike most other platforms that have very, very direct interest in a lot of these projects, and they're the ones dumping on you, these tokens. We don't have any tokens in any of these projects. That would be a conflict of interest. That would be me lying to you, trying to manipulate you so I could make money from your money. Everything we do is the opposite of that. So I know it sounds obvious to me, but almost everybody else in crypto does that every day. Every day. They just don't tell you about it.
Right.
Next question.
Okay, last question for today. Anthony's asking, you've partnered with Bitfront and Bitfinex, which have millions of users. Will we see those assets and new users show up on the community page?
Yeah, so here, I'll share the screen. So if you go to statistics, this is a community page, Celsius.com. This is not our project, right? We don't update the numbers here. This is all sourced. Again, you can look at the codes and see where the stuff comes from. And you can track, again, all the different coins, what we pay in interest. What happened to my internet? It's refreshing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All those tabs.
So,
all those tabs from earlier.
Yeah. Anyway, but while it's refreshing, let me show you some things. So for example, if you look at crypto.com, right, they proudly display when they're up and when they're down, right? And I want to show you one thing here, right? So they're basically anyway, I don't see it right now, but they were down for like a long period of time, right? And after that, abruptly, they lowered the rewards. So I bet you that these two events are connected, right? That the one has to do with the other. Because they didn't allow any withdrawals for like 2 days or something. And even though people said, oh, you know, it was a technical issue, I think there's more to it. So just watch out. So just to remind people, right? How many people got hacked out there again and again and again, right? All these hacks that you've seen, right? Keep pressing the button instead of. Anyway, the point is that what happened to my thing? Okay, so the point is that you'll see again and again, you know, stuff getting companies getting hacked, right? Again and again, exchanges, wallets.
OKX just had an issue last night.
Exactly. So my point is that you just gotta be super careful about these things to make sure that you are that your assets are in a safe place. And again, I think we mentioned to you that we've never got hacked. No assets has ever been stolen from us or anything like that. So back to the original question, you were talking about growth. You will see the growth here, right? So these numbers are just going to start accelerating even more than what you're seeing here, right? So I think the last date here is 100, was it 188? So we're already at 191. If you look at the wallet, it's actually even more up to date than what you're seeing here, but at least you know, if you don't want to write down the numbers every day, you'll be able to see, okay, how is the growth of the community? So you see the, you know, again, you can see here the growth, right? You can see the acceleration that we've had. And again, as the numbers get bigger and bigger, it is not that easy to grow BTC deposits or grow, because all the stuff here is measuring percentages, right? So to grow 3% when you have $1.5 billion versus when you have 100 million is not 10 or 15 times harder. It's 100 times harder, right? So the fact that we can maintain the growth, right, in almost all categories, some of them were accelerating, as you can see, like here here you can see the acceleration over the last few weeks, right? That tells you a lot, right? That not just that we're maintaining it, but we've been accelerating. So all this stuff, again, is publicly available, multiple sources now, and you can dig in and make your own decisions. Again, these guys do a great job kind of tracking sell token versus the purchases. And we had an error on our emails that is sent weekly. We've shown you the rewards distributed to date. Actually, that was a wrong number. So that number is, you know, again, in the tens of millions of dollars versus whatever number we showed you before. So that 40 million, obviously, in dollar terms, if we bought 40 million tokens, in dollar terms, it's going to be something like, you know, $55 million worth of value that we bought off the market, took off the market in today's dollars. So again, so thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a fan. Thanks for participating. Thanks for trusting us. Thank you to Chrissy Mashinsky, Mian Mashinsky, for joining us as well. And have a great week.
What's our website again?
Yeah, usastrong.io. And definitely order some items there, all made in the United States, all supporting local businesses. And if you know any U.S. manufacturers or anyone who wants to, we're trying to entice people to buy local and support the local community. And it goes to locally sourced honey all the way to locally sourced jeans, right? So just, you know, help us, help others. And my wife, I see, is doing this. I guess she's been listening because she's doing good and then she's going to do well. So they charge no fees. I think they charge less than 5% for fulfillment, which is just crazy, right? Compared to like, I think Amazon charges like 30% or something like that. So, so this is all intended to help the community and kind of recycle and be sustainable and so on. So see you next week, and you know, keep it hot. You know, keep Celsius going. Keep it hot.
Keep
Take
it
care.
hot. All right. Thank you, everyone.
And I'll